Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this week's news recap. First headline: Crypto's love-hate relationship with analytics and compliance software heats up. The block reports that more than a year after Coinbase's controversial acquisition of Neutrino, the cryptocurrency exchange wants to sell blockchain analytics software to the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency and the IRS. Neutrino was an Italian IT firm whose software had been used to spy on citizens, and the Coinbase purchase set off a Delete Coinbase campaign. While the government grants have not been awarded yet, a Coinbase spokesperson did tell the block, quote, "The information offered in Coinbase Analytics has always been kept completely separate from Coinbase internal data," noting that it is sourced from online publicly available data. The response on crypto Twitter can basically be summed up with this tweet: "You can't buy bad press like that, seriously." ConsenSys is also getting into the analytics game with the launch of CodePhi Compliance, a compliance and analytics suite that focuses on DeFi and Ethereum and can track up to 280,000 tokens. The crypto Twitter take: "I thought the main point of DeFi was not to have KYC. ConsenSys said this would not reveal personally identifiable information." Meanwhile, ChainAlysus introduced an investigation and compliance software for Dash and Zcash. While these are privacy coins, ChainAlysus explains that only 9% of Dash transactions use its privacy feature, Private Send, and that techniques used to analyze coin-join transactions on Bitcoin can be used on Dash. Meanwhile, only 0.9% of all Zcash transactions are completely shielded, so ChainAlysus can still provide information on more than 99% of Zcash activity. Next headline: Fidelity says that 80% of institutional investors are interested in digital assets. A survey of 800 institutional investors in the US and Europe found that almost 80% are intrigued by digital assets, with 36% already invested in the market. Broken out by market, Europe seems to be more bullish, as only 27% of US institutions, including pension funds, family offices, investment advisors, and digital and traditional hedge funds, have invested in cryptocurrency, which is up from 22% a year ago. Additionally, the exposure of US investors to digital asset futures jumped from 9% to 20%. Meanwhile, Bakkt and Galaxy Digital have teamed up on a white glove service for institutional investors wanting to buy and store Bitcoin. Next headline: Ethereum addresses top 100 million in number. The Defiant reports that the total number of unique Ethereum addresses surpassed 100 million on Tuesday. Since many users have multiple addresses and some addresses can be created by trading bots, reporter Camilla Russo points out that the total number of Ethereum addresses with a non-zero balance is 40 million, while daily active addresses is about 1/100th of that, at 400,000, down from highs of around 700,000 at the peak of the ICO bubble in January 2018. Next headline: Bitmain drama continues, stopping shipments. The power struggle at Bitmain continues, with perhaps ousted founder Mikri Zhan stopping a Shenzhen subsidiary of Bitmain, where he is still a director, from shipping Bitcoin miners to clients. The chaos has caused many clients to switch to Bitmain's biggest rival, MicroBT. Meanwhile, there's a new update to the saga over the official seal, which is used to make company actions binding. Zhan and the co-founder with whom he is battling, Jihan Wu, each claim to have the company's official seal. On Wednesday, Bitmain's WeChat account appears to have been taken over by Zhan, who may have the new seal, but the Bitmain website claimed that all the posts made afterwards were fake. Then on Thursday, the official WeChat account published another notice with the new seal, ordering all Bitmain employees to go back to the Beijing office under threat of losing their salaries. Next headline: Microsoft's Bitcoin-based identity tool Ion goes live. With the coronavirus highlighting the possible applications for blockchain-based identity, Microsoft's decentralized identity tool Ion, which is anchored in the Bitcoin blockchain, launched in beta. CoinDesk reports that it is one of a number of tools being fast-tracked to help with contact tracing, health certificates, and other types of coronavirus response. However, some in the crypto community find such applications potentially dangerous. Harry Halpin, CEO of privacy tech startup Nim, said, quote, Governments need to establish identities of who owns these keys. So they say, okay, we'll have an open standard, call it decentralized, and make it mandatory. Next headline. The Human Rights Foundation launches a Bitcoin development fund. HRF launches a fund to support developers who are, quote, making the Bitcoin network more private, decentralized, and resilient so that it can better serve as a financial tool for human rights activists, civil society organizations, and journalists around the world. The first recipient of a gift from the fund is Chris Belcher, who is working on coin swaps, which makes it harder for authorities to trace Bitcoin transactions. HRF is also crowdfunding to further support Bitcoin development at hrfdevfund.fundraise.org. Gifts given at that address will go toward individuals or teams working on improvements to the Bitcoin network. Next headline. Why EIP 1559 is the biggest change to how users bid for block space. Deribit had an interesting post this week analyzing a new Ethereum improvement proposal, saying that it would be a significant change for users, miners, and wallet providers, and would be the largest change to how users bid for block space on any of the major blockchains. First, it proposes that, as much as possible, all transactions should pay the same fee rate, with users deciding whether to pay the fee or not, and not how much to bid. Second, it would allow for more variation in block size to account for the fact that demand for block space fluctuates. This would also allow some blocks to be larger and others smaller while enforcing an average block size limit. Third, it would untie network security from transaction fees by instead burning transaction fees and incentivizing miners to a perpetual block subsidy. Finally, by enforcing that transactions burn a specific amount of ETH, it would also help preserve the monetary premium of ETH. Next headline. Well, no, this is fun bits. Fun bits! The second Winklevoss movie, Bitcoin Billionaires, is coming to the big screen. There will be a movie made about the Winklevoss twins, and it's based on the book Bitcoin Billionaires. In case you missed it, be sure to check out my interview with author Ben Mesrich, who, by the way, also wrote the book that became the film The Social Network. The Bitcoin Billionaires movie will be co-produced by Stampede Ventures and Tyler and Cameron themselves. Thanks for tuning in. To learn more about Robby and emerging impacts, be sure to check out the links in the show notes of your podcast player. Don't forget, you can now watch videos of the recordings of the podcast on Unchained and on its YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/c/Unchained podcast and subscribe today. Unconfirmed is produced by me, Laura Shin, with help from Fractal Recording, Anthony Yoon, Daniel Nuss, Josh Durham, and the team at CLK Transcription. Thanks for listening.